Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Tim, and I know I've been away for a while. I was actually on vacation. You could probably tell. Got a little bit of a tan. So anyway, I get a little bit darker during the summer. I was in Southern California. It was very hot all week, and went to some amusement parks, went to the beach. I wasn't trying to get a tan, but it kind of happens naturally. So anyway, decided to do a video. I've been meaning to do this one for the past week. I received an order from HGA Grading. This was actually my first order, so I wanted to do an HGA Reveal video. Before I get into that though, I know that there's a lot of buzz coming up about the National. Wish I could attend. Unfortunately, I will not be able to attend this year, and I've never been to a National. So actually, I take that back. There is a chance that I did go to a National when I was a kid. I heard that they were in, the Nationals were in Anaheim, California. And I feel like my dad may have taken me one year, but I don't know for a fact that that was the National. So at this, I guess for present day purposes, I've never been to a National. So I was really looking forward to possibly going, but I kind of knew it wasn't going to happen kind of short notice, and I had other plans. Anyway, I noticed that there's a lot of content about that. Everybody's pretty excited. So just wanted to kind of talk about that and bring that up. Wish I could be there. I think it's actually going to be a really good event, though. I know that there's a couple of YouTube content creators who are kind of downers and kind of, I guess, are talking about possibly the National being a big letdown, either because people aren't buying or people aren't selling or the market's crashing or whatever. But I really feel like there's just a lot of buzz about it, and I think the interest is more about people meeting people, collectors actually meeting each other in person. And for the first time for many people, I think that's pretty exciting, and I think that's something to look forward to. And to be honest, I think that's something that really didn't exist in a broader sense the way it does now. I think when I was a kid, most of my friends collected cards. So I would trade cards with my friends from school. But I never, when I would go to a card show, I never met people that I didn't know, complete strangers, to either talk about cards or trade cards or anything like that. And I think that's one cool element of the hobby today as opposed to the 80s and the 90s. So I think that's what people are pretty excited about. And I think that's an element of the hobby that people are really discounting when they're comparing what's happening now compared to what happened in the late 80s, early 90s. Everybody's focused on print run and whatever else went on to eventually drive the market to quote unquote the dead era. And I think people are just kind of too focused on that and not really focused on what's going on right now, which is just a new phase of the hobby. YouTube, content creation, people just getting to know each other. I think even personal collections are more of a thing than they were in the 80s and the 90s. People who personally collected cards back in the 80s and the 90s, there were maybe a total of 3 or 4 cards to collect. Now you have a wide variety of cards. You probably couldn't collect everything of one particular player. It could take you a lifetime. That's how many different types of cards there are, different variations, or they're just that hard to get because there's one of ones or whatever the case. So, there's all that going on. I just think it's really exciting, and I wanted to throw that out there. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this HGA reveal. Okay, so we have a 5-card order from HGA. Again, this is the other reveal that I showed was actually the reveal that my brother sent in. So this was my first submission. And a couple of these were just experiments, just wanted to kind of see how HGA grades. I wasn't really even sure what the value of the card would be once I got it back. I think I was hoping if it got an HGA 9.5 that it would be worth the price of grading. So these cards are actually submitted on a 30-day order, and that runs $35 per card. So some of these I may not have done that well, but again, I just wanted to see what the grading, the grades, how tough they grade, and also what the resale value would be once I got the cards back. This is a very nice Kobe Bryant. This is a Topps Pristine, just a base card. It's a cool number though, number 8, which was his jersey number. That's just the card in the set. That's not a serial number or anything like that, but I thought it was pretty cool. Anyway, I looked it up, and it looks like an HGA 9 sold for less than $50. I think it's a very nice card. This is the splash finish. I think splash match card was the finish on this, and you can see it got, let's zoom in here, 2 9.5s and 2 9.0. So it was 1 9.5 away from getting an HGA gem mint. So unfortunately, we missed that by 9.5, but still a very nice card. At the end of the day, this is probably a break-even break-even purchase plus with the grade at a 9.0, but still a very nice card, and I actually just kind of like to have it from my personal collection. The next card, I think I sent this in. I think the Nuggets were still in the playoffs, and I thought if Michael Porter had a nice playoff run, this might be a good card to get graded and hopefully resell maybe during the playoffs, which would have been right now, but unfortunately they were eliminated early. This is a Michael Porter Jr. Prism base rookie card, and you can see it got 1 9.5 and 3 9.0s. So the total score is an HGA 9.0. Nice card, base Prism, looks pretty good in the HGA case. And this is just a neutral finish. You can see that it's just a very simple design on the label. I wanted to see how that looks. My preference is the splash finishes, and I think I went with that for the rest of the cards. This card actually does not sell for very much at all. I looked up a PSA 9 sold for $35 on eBay. So I would say that I don't know that this could go much lower than 35. It's a nice card and a nice case. But, you know, maybe it's worth $25. Unfortunately, probably lost on this one. Next card that I sent in was a Lamellar Ball. Lamellar Ball had a nice rookie year, as those of you who follow the NBA know. This is his Hoops rookie. So this was actually the first rookie card that came out for him. And this was very close to being a 9.5. You see it got 3 9.5s, and then it got an 8.5 on the edges. So I guess the edges were worse than I thought they were. I mean, they look pretty nice to me, but maybe there was a flaw that I missed when I was pre-grading it. Anyway, still a nice card. Unfortunately, missed that 9.5 by just a little bit. Looks like it's reselling on eBay for between $40 and $60. I think with 3 9.5 subgrades, it would definitely sell for more than $50. And I like Lamellar Ball next year. He had a nice rookie year. He had that injury toward the end of the season, but I like what what he might show next year, his second year, as he's had his already 1 year of experience, and I think he did very well, and I think he'll come back for another solid year. So I'm pretty excited about getting any Lamellar Ball cards graded. If I can get them pretty cheap. Pulled this one from a box. So this is just a box pull. And again, spent $35 to get it graded. I think that's a pretty good buy for now, and I'm definitely going to hold that. Couple of bigger cards. This one actually purchased from a buddy of mine for about $60, which as it turns out was a pretty good deal. Paid $35 to get it graded. The PSA 10 just sold on eBay for $300. You can see this is an HGA 9.5, and this is my very first HGA 9.5. I was pretty excited about that. You could see it got a sub score of 10 on the edges, 2 9.5s, excuse me, and then 1 9.0 for the surface. Very nice Jason Tatum card. For those of you who don't know, Jason Tatum averaged 26.4 points per game, 7.38 rebounds per game, 4 assists, and he really had a very nice short playoff run, but a very nice series against the, I believe it was against the Nets that they got swept. But anyway, he played very well, and I'm pretty excited about Jason Tatum for next season. Regardless of what the Celtics do with their organization, I know that he is going to be a superstar, and those kind of numbers, very impressive. This is a very nice card. I would say that this card is probably worth about $200. I think that's a fair estimate when you compare it to the PSA 10. I think an HGA 9.5, especially this nice of a card, would probably sell for about 2/3 of the PSA 10. If you don't agree, leave your comments below. I really want to know what people think about HGA, particularly how they look and their resale value. last one I sent in, and I just kind of wanted to see how this would grade. I actually bought this card by mistake, unfortunately, and this is something to keep in mind when you're purchasing cards. If you're new to the game, this was labeled a courtside silver, and on eBay, and people do this all the time, and they probably do it intentionally, and maybe sometimes they don't. Sometimes they'll label a card a PSA 9, and I had this happen to me as well. And then you have to look at the label, and it'll actually say a PSA 8. So they do this all the time. So I actually bought a PSA 8 Brandon Ingram, but the title was PSA 9, so I thought I was bidding on a 9. And I didn't even bother to look at the label because I just didn't think anyone would do that. I did get a partial refund for that card, which was cool. But anyway, this I thought was a courtside silver, but it wasn't. It's actually a blue silver, I believe it's called a blue silver Prism, which is not as good as the courtside silver. So for most of you watching this, that's probably not going to mean anything to you at all. But basically what it means is that it wasn't the card that I thought I was going to buy, and it's worth a little bit less, but it's still super rare. And it's still a very nice card. And as it turned out, it graded an HGA 9.5, and it got 4 9.5s across the board. So this is considered a true gem, very similar to BGS. When you get 4 9.5s on a BGS label, that's also considered a true gem, and those are pretty highly sought after cards. I don't know what the resale value for HGA cards is going to be down the road, but if they do stick, and if people do like, HGA as a grading company as an option, this true gem is definitely going to be worth, it'll be worth a premium because it scored the 4 9.5s. I would argue that this card is probably worth about $250. I'm just going by how rare it is and by the sale of the regular base court side. The last PSA 10 sale was $265. This is more rare than the base court side. It's not as highly sought after as the courtside silver. So I think I'm going conservative here with a $250 value. I actually overpaid, again, because I thought I was buying the courtside silver. So I paid $211 at the time. I also bought at a more peak time in the NBA season. Even with all that, I think I still made out with the nice score on this card. So this was kind of one of my big hitters from this 5-card HGA reveal. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Oh, by the way, I wanted to point out Zach Levine's stats because I'm also excited about him for the upcoming year. For those of you that don't know, he scored 27.4 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4.9 assists. If you watched him play, he does it all. He can shoot the 3. His dunks are unbelievable. He can take over a game. Very fun to watch, and I'm pretty excited about Zach Levine for the upcoming season. And I am picking up more of his cards as I believe that they have dropped a little bit too much in value. I think they make a great buy right now. So just wanted to throw that in there at the end. I hope you enjoyed the HGA reveal video, and please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about HGA as a company or as a grading service, what you think of their labels, if you think they're going to stick or if you think they're going to kind of fall by the wayside. Be very curious to hear your thoughts on that. Hope everyone had a good week, and I will see you on the next one.